Now, many Ghanaians, especially those in low-lying areas, continue to suffer from devastating effects of tidal waves, losing their homes and livelihoods. The economic burden of these disasters, coupled with inflation and rising costs, remain a growing concern. Now, similarly, while the Akosombo Dam spillage was necessary to manage water levels, it has led to widespread displacement and destruction. Now, joining us in the studio is the Member of Parliament for Central Tongu, Honorable Alexander Roosevelt Hoteje, who also serves as the chairman of the Trade and Industry Committee in Parliament. Thank you very much, Honorable, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, let me quickly, I'm very well, thank you. Let me just pick your thoughts on how you would describe the previous government's handling of the whole Akosombo Dam spillage issue.
Thank you so much, and thank you to your viewers. I think the simplest way of defining their approach to the menace is poor. They didn't handle these things very well at all. And they made us think that because that is their low-flying zone, as far as elections are concerned, that was the more reason why they behaved that way. And this was confirmed by the statement made by the president when he visited the place, that he wouldn't have even come there if it were about, if we were to think about votes.
Yeah, but let's look at what happened, you know, the situation and how it was handled. You've mentioned that it was done poorly. Poorly. How was it supposed to have been handled?
This is a situation that happened within a night. The people went to bed, there was no sign, nothing, and it happened. So we, the leaders of the place, the assembly members, the MPs, the district chief executives, we followed up. We chased, we went, that's one of my places, Devima. We went there, we followed up, and we started making appeals to people, because as at the time it happened, everything went adverse.
Right.
Their foodstuff were washed away, their monies were washed away, their personal belongings and everything were all washed away. They didn't have anything. So even to afford a square meal was a problem. So the way to handle the situation became very difficult. So it was your people, TV, City TV, and then
now ChannelOne.
ChannelOne, now ChannelOne.
Yes, and City FM.
I sent City FM. I sent for them, and they came in their numbers, and we took them round. They saw it, and they helped us appeal to the country before people came to our aid. What we heard from government was that, as a way of handling the situation, they were putting together a 13-member interministerial committee. My sister, we have never seen anything like that to date. We've never met them. You know, when we heard it, we went ahead. We, the members of parliament, the district chiefs, and the chiefs, we went ahead to form a committee to be meeting them, because we could not allow them to meet the entire communities affected. So we formed a team to meet them. They never surfaced. We never heard anything. And the only thing we heard later was that, the district chief executives were made liaisons between the committee. What kind of committee is it that will be stationed in Accra and be working in the affected areas? It was just poor.
Now let's look at the impact, you know, of the whole spillage on the communities that were affected. Can you paint a picture of the current situation?
The current situation is still not the best, because nothing has virtually been done. Like I told you, they lost their personal effects. People who are farmers, they lost their farm produce, they lost vans of maize, they lost cassava and everything. Then people who are fishermen, they lost their net. Those who were into aquaculture in the river, they've lost everything overnight. But nothing has still been done to them. All that we have seen is they said they were putting up some buildings to solve their accommodation problem, because a lot of their buildings had collapsed. But that one too, some of them are still at the foundation stage. Some have reached lintel level, and they are left like that till date. So nothing has changed.
There's a new government. Your government is here.
Yes.
What are you going to do to bring respite?
Surprisingly, during the campaign, when the candidate at the time, the current president, came there, I put this issue before him. And so did the rest of my colleagues, like Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa and Honorable Banswa Lukuto. And when the chairman also came, we put these issues before them. There were some of the appeals that we made to them. And yesterday, I heaved a sigh. A whooping amount of 242.5 million was released, was budgeted for to handle this. As to what exactly they'll be using it for, that will be done later.
And you're convinced, you have the assurance.
It will definitely be released because that is their high-flying zones. You understand what I mean?
Well, you'll have to explain that later, but please hold on for us. So we have in the studio the Member of Parliament for Central Tongu, the Honorable Alexander Roosevelt Hoto J. I'm getting the surname right, yeah?
That's it.
Right, so, right, so we'll come back to you, but you're welcome back. This is the Channel One newsroom. We still have in the studio Member of Parliament for Central Tongu, the Honorable Alexander Roosevelt Hoto J. Thank you very much for staying, Honorable. Now, let's move away from the Akosombo Dam spillage and turn our attention to tidal waves. Now, this has become a major concern, not only in the Volta region, but across the country. What measures is your government putting in place to take care of victims of the recent tidal waves?
Yeah, like you have rightly said, it has become a perennial issue. Every now and then it's been happening. And the hardest hit areas in the Volta region, for instance, is the Ketu South, Anglon, and Keta constituencies or districts or municipalities. And it's been happening. In fact, I will say again that the approach of the past government was still not the best. When these things happened, nothing was done. You know, the president didn't even visit there. It was the house and car, how do you call it? This ministry for Works and Housing.
Yeah.
That they visited there, the minister visited there.
Akosombo
At the time. He visited there. And along the line, this Ghana Gas project came in. They wanted to build 100 two-bedroom houses for the people.
Yeah.
And according to them, they were going to complete that project by December 2024. But as we speak, the 10 they had begun has not been completed. The 10 units that they had begun.
So what's your government going to do?
Has still not been completed. I know I cannot preempt exactly what the government will be doing. But you know, when it happened, President Mahama rushed there immediately. And at that particular point, it was 3 days to the presentation of the budget. And he indicated to the people that he was going to make some preliminary, he was going to make some budgetary allocation for it. And it happened yesterday. And he made a budgetary allocation of 200 million Ghana cedis for it. As to what exactly that money is going to be used for, we are not aware yet.
Right.
I know he will be consulting with the leaders, and then there will be stakeholder engagement to see exactly what should be done.
So apart from the construction of the phase 2 of the Blekusu Sea Defense, are you privy to any additional assurances of support for the victims? Would you know?
Not exactly at the moment, but I know President Mahama. You know, the other time when he went there, his brother was there. The brother gave out 100,000, and my colleague, the Minister for Roads, also gave out 250 bags of rice. So he said, you know, their mother come from that area. So definitely, being the stronghold of our party too, I don't think we'll suffer the way we suffered under the previous government.
Well, we'll be monitoring.
But what I want to add quickly is that particular Ghana Gas project, I am calling for a probe into it because the way it was carried out is too suspicious.
What's suspicious about it?
Yeah, because they started with only 10. They couldn't even finish the 10. At least 10. They couldn't even finish it.
So you think that
the money voted for that project, where did it go?
Well,
Where did it
worth
go?
investigating.
Yes,
That's what you've
it
called
ought
for.
to be investigated.
Very well.
Ought to be
So
investigated.
we'll see how the coming days, look at some of these issues as well. But we'll come to you. But so we've been discussing matters related to the recent tidal waves and coastal security in general with Member of Parliament for Central Tongu, Honorable Alexander Roosevelt Hotoje, who is still in the studio with me. Let's now move a bit away from that and look at the 2025 budget. So the budget was presented, an economic policy presented on Tuesday. Now, what in the budget should businesses be excited about, especially in this era of resetting the economy?
In this era of resetting the economy, what the business community should be excited about in this budget is the 5 killing taxes that were removed. You know, because of the inflationary trend, coupled with the increasing taxes, the too many taxes that the past government levied on Ghanaians, prices of commodities have been rocketing. And it's a headache to the business community. You can see that for yourself. You see how happy the market women are. Because a poor market woman who has to send money to the child in school will have to pay 1% tax. And it was worrying. So for one government to come in and as promised to remove that, it's a good news. They are happy. So the business community is happy about the tax removal. In addition to that, if you look at the budget has made provision for raw materials. Government has decided to be very much involved in having our own raw material for industries. And that will help so much. If you have your local raw materials that are used for the production of some goods, what will happen is that prices of the goods will come down because what it will take to produce that good will now be lower a bit. So government intends to do that. Look at the Women Development Bank that they have allocated some money for, the seed fund for, of 51.8 million Ghana cedis. If that particular bank is set up now, it's a bank that is to support women-led businesses, women-led or women-owned businesses. Our mothers will no longer be suffering. There are a lot of enterprising women in this country, but their problem has been source of funding to do anything.
Right.
So if that is given to them, they are gone. And if you look at the budget, the social protection, social intervention is key in the budget. They've done a lot. Even our poor school girls who could not afford to buy.
You seem to be very excited about the budget, right?
That is good. I should be very excited. You know, when they read the budget yesterday, you saw that the whole country was in peace. Because I have never seen any government that will capture the promises that they have made in the field. It means they are not in to deceive Ghanaians.
Well, Honorable, we can only be hopeful and look at how the next 1 year will unfold.
And back it with prayers for us. The right thing will happen. There is an adage in a way that when, let me say it in a way, if the tuber of yam has what it takes in the soil, it will develop very well.
So this prayer, who are we saying it for?
You say it for the government.
That
Things should go well, so that at the end of the day, you'll be a beneficiary.
I see.
Yes.
Well, so if you have to pray, then it looks like we should be welcome to something else. Thank you very much. Member of Parliament for Central Tongu and Chairman of the Trade, Industry and Tourism Committee in Parliament, Honorable Alexander Roosevelt Hotoje.